Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Jane Ivarian, and I am part of the Center for Spartan Engineering. Excited to be able to share that. Good to see you all today. I wish I could see your faces, but I know you're there, so it's great to see you. We are going to talk about beating the bot, and to do that, I'm going to share my screen because, of course, I have a slide deck, hoping to appeal to all kinds of learning styles. So I'll be chatting with you a little bit, but I also want you to see what we're talking about. And then I have a Google folder with some materials for you as well. So give me a second to find my slide and we'll go from there. All right, so you are in the right spot if you are here for beating the bot. Oh my gosh, what is this beat the bot? The session is really just about, not sure how I did that, but let's go back. The session is really just about applying for jobs in the public job market. Before I get into the meat of what we're going to talk about, I think, and this is maybe through just 25 years working with students, probably one of the most out of control things that we can do is apply for jobs in the public job market or wherever. When we talk about the public job market, what the heck is that? It's really just any job that's posted on a website, on Handshake, LinkedIn, the company website, Indeed, any sort of job posting system. That's the public job market. So again, I'll go back to this whole idea of it being one of the most out of control things that we can do, because basically what's happening is you're, preparing a resume, a cover letter, if it's required, you're uploading it to a system, and then you're crossing your fingers and saying, please pick me for an interview. At the same time, somewhere between 500 to 1,000 other people could be doing the same thing. That's for internships and for full-time jobs. So it can feel like you have no control over applying for jobs. And so what I want to do today is give you a sense of, I wonder why I'm not able to push my slides forward. Hang on. All right. So what I want to do today is give you some suggestions or strategies for beating the bot. And we'll talk about what the bot is in just a minute or two. So basically, I'm going to take, 20, 25 minutes to go through the content, and then we'll have a little bit of a playtime exercise for us to explore at least one of these strategies. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about the job marketplace. So what does this thing look like, the job market? And then we're going to talk a little bit about the bot. What is it? Is it your friend? Is it your foe? And then we'll dive into those strategies for beating the bot. So what does this look like? What's happening in the marketplace? It's changed a lot over the last 10 to 15 years in very, very big way. The internet has really made it possible for you to apply for jobs. There's no more paper required. Everything's happening online. But the marketplace essentially is buyers and sellers. And think about it. It's called the job marketplace, the market. So this market includes buyers and sellers. So you're the seller here. If you're applying for a job, you're essentially selling your skills, your experiences, your degree program. And what your hope is that the buyer, the company, it gets really excited about what you have to offer. Just like when you and I, if we go to the store or we're on Amazon or wherever, we're buying stuff, we're buying because we find value in that product or service, more value in that product or service that we pick than any of our other options. And that's what's going on in this marketplace. Companies buy talent based on their understanding of your potential to add value. So what's happening in this marketplace is valuation and alignment. So companies are assessing your potential to add value. Just they're using data to do that. What's the data source? Well, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, a cover letter, any other self-marketing tools you might be sharing. Maybe you're sharing a portfolio, or there's something that you need to upload, some sort of statement or whatever. But the company is looking at those materials that you submit and they're doing valuation. They're taking all that evidence that you provide and they're assessing it to build an understanding of your potential to add value. The other thing that's going on is alignment, meaning that your skills, your experiences, your degree program, it's all being aligned with the job description. So what we're trying to do here is see, how do your skills and experiences connect with the skills and qualifications, the description of the job. So that's what's happening. So what's going on here is it's a buyer and seller marketplace. The company is the buyer, the job seeker, you're the seller, and the company is doing valuation and alignment. So what is this thing, the bot? Okay, I like to call it the bot in a silly sort of way, but it's just an application tracking software. It's a system that 98% of all large companies use to manage the application and hiring process. So when you upload your resume, when you're following the link to apply for a job and you upload your resume and maybe a cover letter and any other materials that the company is asking for, maybe you're filling out a skills assessment, you're doing that typically through an application tracking software system. So not only is it a repository for all of the application materials that you're uploading, it's a matchmaking tool. And that's what's so important to keep in mind. It's matchmaking between the job description, so all that data on the job description, the responsibilities, the skills, the qualifications, it's matching that against your resume. So what's happening is a human typically is no longer doing the first round review of your resume. It's the bot that does it. So this matchmaking is critically important. So the bot's doing the first round of evaluation and alignment, but there's another thing to keep in mind here. There's some responsibility around valuation and alignment. In the old world, before we were using application tracking software systems, there's like a 70-30 split. So the buyer was doing much of the valuation and alignment, meaning the company, a human being, would physically look at your resume, sometimes on paper, a lot of times online, and they would be doing the matchmaking. They would be thinking very much about, well, how does this person fit in? They would be totally focused on, they would be able to figure out often your how and your outcome. So like skills, if you didn't include skills on your resume or the outcomes associated with your work, often the HR recruiter was doing that. They were making those educated guesses, mainly by looking at your job title. In the new world, it's flipped, meaning it's the seller's job. It's your job to actually do valuation and alignment before the bot actually does the first round review. That's why WhoLogic is really important when you're putting together your resume. Okay, because what's happening in this new world is that the onus, the responsibility is on you to tell a company why you would make a good fit, meaning sharing your skills. That's how you get work done, and the outcomes that you've generated based on the work that you've done in the past. And the work can be volunteer experience, internships, part-time jobs. That's all valuable and valued. So what I want to do is I want to drill in to two strategies. Now that we've talked about the context, it's a big world in this job marketplace. So there's a lot of competition, a lot of resumes are being submitted. The bot is doing the first round review, meaning you have to help the bot by doing keyword matching. Okay, that's strategy number one. When you get a job description in front of you and you put it next to your resume, you want to do keyword matching. You want to try to see if you can match the skills and qualifications as much as possible. We don't want you to lie, but you want to make sure that you're pulling as many skills and qualifications from the job description into your resume, meaning you might need to do a little bit of last minute changes on your resume before you upload the resume into the portal. That's strategy number one. So you're making this connection. You're doing matchmaking between your resume and the job posting. Strategy number two, often more important than keyword matching, is fast networking. You need human intervention. So we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about both of these strategies in this crazy big job marketplace. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit. With keyword matching, what's going on is you're wanting to use WhoLogic as much as possible because you want to create a value-centered and aligned resume. WhoLogic really kind of forces you into going beyond talking about what you did on a job. So responsible for customer service, or generated data during internship. You're going beyond what you did and you're talking about how you did the work and outcomes associated, because you're really trying to create a full picture of the value of each of your experiences. So you want to use WhoLogic to create a value-centered and aligned resume. You want to add a skills section. Why do you want to do that? Because it's a really easy way to connect with the qualifications and skills from the job description onto your resume. So when you've got a job description up in front of you, you're preparing your resume. By having that skills section, if there's a skill listed on the job description, let's say Tableau as an example, you've got skills using Tableau, but you don't have a value point on your resume to reflect that, but you've used it, you've had some training with it, then add it to the skills section so that when the bot is doing the matchmaking, it's matchmaking off of Tableau. It's on the job description and it's in the skills section of your resume. The other thing you want to do for sure is use basic formatting for your resume. I'm going to pull up a resume in a second or two to show you. You don't want a lot of graphics. You really don't want tables. No formatting. Don't use formatted templates, because the ATS can struggle deciphering graphics and formatting. Sometimes if you have a heavy formatted resume, it's just gibberish by the ATS. Don't use headers and footers. So some people put their contact information in a header. Sometimes an ATS can't pick that up, meaning your resume comes through and your contact information is not visible. So don't use headers and footers. Just use a basic Word document. Avoid company-specific acronyms and jargon. The ATS, it's not smart. It's only programmed with the words it's supposed to look for. So be really careful about acronyms and jargon. A lot of students will say to me, oh my gosh, I don't want to apply for this job because it's asking for 2 years of work experience and I only have 1, or it's asking for more skills than I have. Job postings are wish lists, my friend. If you match at 30%, even 20%, apply for the job. And you just want to accentuate how you do match, where the alignment is. Okay, here's an example of actually doing this valuation and alignment, this matchmaking. This is just an example of a resume. I'm not saying it's a good resume or a bad resume. It's just something I pulled off the internet. Here's an example of a job description. So, I'm looking at this description that is describing what I will do. And then I say, oh my gosh, I'm going to be responsible for administering, some sort of social media tool. Okay, I have experience in that. So I'm doing this matchmaking. Same thing, key responsibilities. Here's a responsibility that's listed. Guess what? I have that. Same thing down here, over and over. You're just doing matchmaking. If you see something on the job description that you know you have, but you don't have it on your resume, then pull it under the skills section or create a value point, a bulleted value point. You're just trying to do as much alignment as you can. Okay, so just a quick reminder on your resume. Some of you may not be engineering students, may be joining us for the very first time to learn about beating the bot. If you're writing value points on your resume, you can use WhoLogic to help you. This is just a quick review. You'll have this information in the Google folder. Remember, it's about what did you do? How did you do the work? Where you're highlighting skills and strategies, technical tools that you've used, and outcomes produced from the work. Remember, your outcomes can be either intended or actual. Because what we're trying to do is uncover the value of your experiences, not only so that you can articulate them on a resume, but so that you can talk about them during networking and interviewing. Here's just an example of a typical bullet point before WhoLogic, responsible for social media. Once we use WhoLogic to actually find the value of the experience, built social media presence using coupons and time-sensitive campaigns, deployed Google Analytics to measure traffic. Here's our outcome: increased sales by 25% within 6 months of launch. How did we get this work done? We used campaigns and coupons, and we deployed Google Analytics. Really easy. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to give us some practice. I want to make sure you're still awake and hanging out with me. We're going to take a look at some stuff that I have in a Google folder. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. It's going to take me a second to head over to this website. And then I am going to give you the link to grab this site. And then I'll meet you there. Going over to chat. Okay, in chat, you will see a link to a Google folder. So what I would love for you to do is open up that Google folder and meet me there. It should look something like this. There's a lot of content in here. The slide deck is here. There's a couple of chapters from WhoLogic. So there's the matchmaking chapter that's helping you do this keyword matching. There's the networking chapter, and that's going to give you insight on how to do fast networking, which we'll talk about in a second or two. And then there's the conversational pitch chapter, because when you do fast networking, you're also going to pitch. We'll talk about fast networking in a second or two. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to open up Beat the Bot, UVW, job description, avatar, resume. I'm going to open it up as well. And we're going to run through it really quick. Okay, I want you to do some keyword matching, meaning I need for you to go to chat and throw in some things that you find in the internship. So this is the job description for a marketing internship for a fake company called UVW. All right, this is the company that's used in WhoLogic, the book. This is just a quick, easy description of a job. It's an internship. Here's some responsibilities. So plan and develop digital marketing, analyze data, research new customer segments, some leadership responsibilities. You're going to partner within a team, connect existing customers with new product promotion to increase sales. And then we've got some qualifications here. Okay, so a bachelor's degree in marketing, communications, advertising, or a related field. Ability to build working knowledge of UVW's portfolio of products, and it goes on and on about the internship qualifications. Our second page here is our friend Jane Avatar from the book. Remember, Jane is not named for me, she's named for Jane Doe. Here's her resume, really simple formatting. The ATS is never going to get uncomfortable with this formatting. It's going to be able to pick up all those keywords. So what I want you to do is I want you to look back and forth between this resume and the job description. And I want you to do some matchmaking. Where do you see the similarities between Jane's experiences and the job description? So I'm gonna get us started. Okay. Jane is working on a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing. Internship qualifications. Oh, looking for a degree in marketing. Okay, so here's a similarity. Marketing degree. That's matching. Okay, so what I want you to do, make chat light up and find some things that are similar between the job description and the resume. You're going to be the bot right now. So we're just doing keyword matching. As soon as you find a match, yep, experience with digital marketing. Thank you, Charles. Partner with 30+ student affairs units. Yep, you're seeing some similarities. Tableau and InDesign. Yep, these are things that are connecting the job description with Jane's experience and her skills. So you are being great bots. Keep it coming. Analyze data, Google Analytics. Yep, collaborating with a team-centered environment. Yep, you're just pulling things from the job description and the resume. You're making those connections. Yep, collaborating with a team-centered environment. What else do you see that's similar between what's on Jane's resume and what's in the job description? Proficient in Tableau and analytics. Yep. Anything else? Leadership responsibilities. Yep, she's had a leadership role. Yeah. So if you're the bot right now, tell me this. Say yes in chat if you would bring Jane in for an interview. Say no if you wouldn't. Yes. All right. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Okay, great. You get it. Perfect. You bet. I love it. Thanks, Garth. All right, so let's head back to our slide deck. And we're going to talk a little bit about fast networking. Why is this not getting rid of the slideshow? Right, sorry, y'all. I don't know why this isn't getting rid of this slide. Let's go here. Okay. So we were in the Google folder. Please help yourself to any of the material there. I'll keep that Google folder open for quite some time. So download the chapters. Download if the resume format is useful for you, you can download that. Take whatever you like because the folder will stay open. Okay, so job application strategy number 2, fast networking. It's probably more important than keyword matching because if you get somebody who gives you a referral or recommends you to the hiring manager or the HR individual who's responsible for the application process for a particular job, if you can get some sort of referral or recommendation from somebody who works at that company, that's actually going to be the best strategy out in front of you. I'm not saying keyword matching isn't helpful. It is, because you have to move forward beyond the bot, but getting human intervention is important. And this is where we come back to fast networking. Chapter 8 is in the Google folder, so you can read more about fast networking, and you can see how because Jane Avatar didn't fast network, she lost out on an opportunity. Really, this is the way to think about it and the rationale for fast networking. In any given situation, when you want to apply for a job, there can be, hundreds of applicants, even thousands of applicants. There's that much volume in the job marketplace. It's just so easy to apply for jobs. So let's say, a hiring manager receives 500 resumes for a job posting. What's going to happen is that hiring manager is not even going to look at any resumes until the ATS, our friend the bot, does the initial screening, and might reduce that applicant number down to 150 resumes. From there, 150 resumes is still too many for a hiring manager to actually want to look through. So what can increase your chances if you're applying for a job is if you've got some sort of referral or recommendation from somebody who works at that company. So just as an example, if Garth is applying for a job and I work at that company and we're both Spartans, I've been at that company for 5 years, and I work in the unit that he's interested in. And if he reaches out to me and says, "Hey, Jane, I just," via LinkedIn, most likely, and he reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I just applied for a job at your company. Your background is really interesting to me. I would love to get some insight or advice from you." Hits the connection request on LinkedIn. It's very possible that I might say, "Sure, Garth, I'll talk to you. I'm happy to connect with you." Garth asks me for a 10-minute conversation. He pitches his skills and experiences, and he's really good at it because he's done that keyword matching, the valuation and the alignment. And then I think he's great. So I go to the hiring manager or the HR professional and I say, "Hey, you know what? I think that we should put Garth on this interview pile." So applicants with long-standing or fast networked relationships have a much better chance of getting on the interview pile. That's the rationale for fast networking. You've got to get some human intervention. So normally the way this works is you use LinkedIn. You've got the job, you apply for the job, or it's maybe the job posting deadline is 3 or 4 weeks away. You can either do fast networking before you apply for the job or right after you submit your application materials. Anyway, you're going to go to LinkedIn. You're going to identify someone working at the company. You're usually going to target an MSU alum, but it can be other people that you might have some sort of affinity with. Who knows? You're going to send a message on LinkedIn, "Hello, fellow Spartan," or "Hello, Garth, I just applied for a role at your company. Your background is inspiring. I would love to gain insights and advice from you. Thank you." Hit the connection request. I mean, sometimes this person will ignore you. That's okay. Maybe you need to move on to somebody else. But if the connection request is accepted, you want to try to schedule a 10-minute conversation, because what you're really trying to do is get a referral, a recommendation. Okay, this is not slow and steady networking, which is the other part of the chapter in Who Logic. This is knocking on somebody's door and saying, "Please help me." And it's okay to do that, because odds are 5 years from now, 3 years from now, somebody's going to do the same to you. They're going to ask for your help. And if they do it politely, if they do it pleasantly, odds are you're going to say, "Sure, I'll talk to you." And maybe you'll give them a recommendation. Just trying to see if you can get to that interview pile. Okay. So try fast networking. All right. You tell me, and let's use chat again. We talked a lot about keyword matching and beating the bot, but you tell me, what's more important, keyword matching or fast networking? What do you think is going to yield the most support when you apply for a job? Let's go and see what's happening in chat. Fast networking. Yep. Keyword matching is important. It absolutely is. You need both. You want to make sure you've got both happening. But I'm going to tell you that fast networking is the way to go. I talked to a student just a few weeks ago who said to me, you know, I fast networked with someone who wasn't even an MSU alum. They're from Purdue. Not only are they helping me at their company, the company they work at that I just applied to, they just forwarded out my resume to 2 other companies just based on the connections that they have. Networking is super important, and it's really a good idea to get comfortable with it early on. So use both strategies. They're both very important. Grab the material in the Google folder. Those chapters are designed to help you with this process: the matchmaking, the keyword matching, and the fast networking. All right, that's my content. Certainly, Garth, open up, add your insight, and let's take some questions if there's some questions out there.